welcome to the Absolute Gamecast. Pokémon is a franchise that's been around for many years and told many stories, many of which having various layers and lessons, but my favorite side of the Pokémon story is the emotional side. Pokémon has always been a story of determination and friendship, but at its peak, the Pokémon formula can be used to tell some tragic, heartfelt stories that for many people can hit close to home. This is my favorite aspect of the story because when done right, it makes the characters feel like real people with real lives and personalities so people can root for and relate to them, which also helps the world building and brings life to the world, showing that there are people with hopes and dreams just like ours in the Pokémon world. I'd like to give a few examples, but before I start this video will contain spoilers for the Pokémon anime and games, so if you can, please catch up on those and come back later. The Pokémon anime was, in my opinion, the first medium to heavily feature the majority of the franchise's emotional moments. There are many episodes in the anime that deal with people and Pokémon being put in various real-world scenarios, such as being abandoned, killed, or passing away, leaving their remaining loved ones to grieve. Losing family and friends like this can and likely will happen in real life, so these episodes and scenes feel real in a way that can be very moving and relatable to those who have gone through similar experiences. Admittedly, there have been a few episodes that almost made me cry, with the primary example being the Homecoming Crown from Pokémon Journeys, which, while I don't personally relate to the episode, seeing the heartwarming conclusion of the Aether family arc and knowing just how much grief and trauma they went through just to find their lost husband and father Mon, only for them to learn he doesn't remember any of them, is heartbreaking. Then once his memories come back, the episode makes you want to cry along with them as their mission comes to a happy ending. Episodes like this are a great example of just how powerful Pokémon's writing can be when they don't sugarcoat the fact that life can be hard and bad things will happen, but at the end of it all, with determination and people you can count on, you can overcome anything. Moving on to the games now. While they have had emotional moments for a while, they were mostly relegated to side quests, but recently the games have begun embracing the same tone in the main story. I would argue it really started around Sun and Moon, which did feature a similar arc with the Aether family, but personally I think the anime had a much more emotional conclusion to it compared to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where Lucamine and Mon meet for a few minutes. She realizes he doesn't remember them and just lets him go because he seems happier this way, and it's just left there. However, one of the best and most recent emotional storylines, in my opinion, and many others, has to be Arven's backstory from the Path of Legends and Going Home plotlines from Scarlet and Violet. When you first meet Arven in the game, he seems like a rude jerk until you take on his story path and learn that one of his parents left him at a young age, too absorbed in their work to pay attention to him, and when he decided to confront them, his Mabosstiff was critically injured, leading him to putting everything into a quest to find any way to save his only friend from dying. Over the course of the story, you help save Mabosstiff, only for Arven to overhear your phone call with his mother or father, finally wanting to talk after a decade of neglect. Descending into the depths of Area Zero, Arven finally learns the dark truth. His parents died protecting the box art legendary, and was replaced by an AI of their own creation who was reluctantly confined to the crater with no way to tell him what happened, and he never got the chance to say goodbye. Upon finally saving the world, the AI professor, the last shred of his parent he had left, is forced to disappear forever in time, meaning he not only lost his parent again, but this time it was right in front of him. By the post-game, he seems to have recovered a little, but will likely continue to carry that memory for the rest of his life. This is another story that, while I don't relate to it, you can only imagine how rough it must have been for Arven, and connecting the dots makes you realize just how tragic this story really is, especially with the fact that minus all the sci-fi shenanigans, this is a very real thing that large groups of people have gone or will go through at some point in their life, making this story in a video game feel so much more real and depressing. These are just a few examples, but there are plenty more to discover for yourself, and if you have a favorite moment that wasn't mentioned here, feel free to share it in the comments. I really enjoyed making this video as it was a lot of fun to share my thoughts on this topic, which I've thought about in the past. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Not gonna force you, do what you want. Thanks for tuning in, and that's the video. Bye.